much as I can with them, but it's not easy. Like I said, you see all these guys I got. I'm going through it, and there's a lot. I got my tag teams. I got Orton. He's always a stable person to have here. I actually have The Rock, and he was supposed to do a match at Backlash against Velveteen. Ziggler came out and screwed that up in order to just create a tension between himself. I'm sorry, it was actually Orton that did that. Orton as the champ, because he didn't want to face The Rock. He came out and he attacked Velveteen, basically, or I'm sorry, The Rock, so that Velveteen would win by DQ, and so that if Orton would have maintained the title, it would have been Velveteen, which he would have preferred to face rather than The Rock. So this is kind of cool because it's letting me get a little Rock Orton feud coming up. Zayn and Sheamus, tag champs, letting them do their thing. Nakamura again, I'm gonna have him go ahead and try and do a little bit of going after Edge, seeing what he's made of type deal, putting him to the test, and vice versa at the same time, because you go after a guy like Edge who's got such a legacy, and you want to tarnish that, but at the same time, if you don't, and Edge puts you in your place, then that's definitely a step down. So Ty Dillinger, I don't have much going on. I just got him on the show because he's a good worker, and you never know what could happen. I mean, pretty much mid-card. Tyler Breeze, I really like, and tried to do as much as I can for him, but it is what it is there. I've had some really good matches. I've actually had a good pay-per-view with him against Shawn Michaels once, where he really had a great match. So he's capable of it. It's just hard for me to find a good program for him with some of these guys I got here now. Taker is on here. I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep him around. It's pretty much because I want to have him against Big E at the next pay-per-view. Another put to the test. As you can tell, I like the concept of taking the younger guys and putting them against some of the older guys, or guys that they seem less likely to beat. It's more interesting to me to see that than to see someone that two big guys, typical whatever, and not that I don't like doing that, because I do those also, where I put guys that are monsters. You don't know. I definitely like to test guys because it's sink or swim, I feel, and if they can pull it off, then it's like a good thumbs up for me to go ahead and keep them in that upper card. And whereas if not, and if they fall short, then okay, I'll let them work back in the mid card a little bit longer. So I got Velveteen. He's great for Raw. He's been a good staple, doing what he can. Like I said, I had him against. He was supposed to wrestle The Rock, so with that being sabotaged by Orton wanting a match against The Rock, it's kind of like a little thing that I want to have between Velveteen and Orton still. However, I want Orton to have his rematch against Ziggler in a way, so I like to keep things interesting. It may be a four-way. It may be Rock versus Velveteen versus Orton versus Ziggler. Who knows how I'm gonna do it, but I'll figure it out. And then Zack Ryder, of course, one of my most favorite wrestlers, who's very underrated. No specific program for him right now. So usually when I come fresh off pay-per-views, I don't have programs set up that quick, just because of the fact, like I said, I do 2 pay-per-views each month. So I'm doing one for Raw, for SmackDown. So I'm kind of getting into gear to do my SmackDown pay-per-view, which is what my next episode is going to be. But I wanted to just fill you guys in on this. Basically, again, explain a little bit of the matches that I recently had between these guys, the rivalries that are currently going on, things like that. Let me click on the next show, and that way I can show you, where I'm at with my SmackDown rivalries. You know, like I said, I kind of want to see this happen with Roman Reigns and Cedric Alexander. Most people are thinking Roman Reigns is going to crush him, but you just never know. Cena and Bobby Roode, definitely want to give Bobby Roode a chance to prove himself. You know, EC3 and AJ Styles, it's kind of like sink or swim, definitely for EC3. Rusev and Ray, they've been going at it, so that's a big one I want to see happen. Andrade and Ricochet, they they've definitely they've already had a match where it kind of didn't play out in a fair way, so you know, them having the payoff in the pay-per-view would be nice for me. And I won't go over all the superstars as far as there. I feel like I have a kind of deeper, bigger lineup on SmackDown. You see Lesnar, Jericho, Hideo Itami I like to utilize, Kevin Owens, Killian Dane, Matt Hardy, Miz. I've brought Moose into the picture, yes. There's Rey Mysterio, of course. I mean, Ricochet, Strong, Reigns, Samoa Joe, Rusev, Rollins, Benjamin. I've considered that I may have to do some trading. I feel like this roster here is just a little bit better than what I got going on Raw. So it's just trying to figure out who to trade and how to work it out, and whether or not I should just let SmackDown kind of kick gas and do their thing. So especially with guys like Andrade and so forth. So yeah, my next pay-per-view coming up is very shortly. This is my SmackDown payoff before the Payback pay-per-view. So those matches that I kind of mentioned are most likely the matches to be happening. I'm going to the superstars. So if I had to say off the top of my head right now, the way this pay-per-view is going to play out, we're going to see AJ Styles versus Batista. Batista coming in to SmackDown within the past month or so, kind of wanting to just beat the shit out of AJ Styles and put him in his place, and Styles being Styles, not having it. And another one, the second match would be Andrade and Ricochet, two extremely talented superstars wanting to show off what they got. Third match would be Bobby Roode and Cena. Basically Bobby Roode showing Cena he's not what he's about anymore. He's been, you know, like I said, I make storylines up in my head. And I do things to kind of like build to the storyline. So Roode's really been getting up in Cena's ass and just trying to make trouble for him. I don't believe I have anything for Strowman, so he's just not going on. Lesnar, so like I said, I got Moose in the picture here from TNA. So Lesnar is pretty much going to hold like an open challenge deal, and Moose is going to be the guy to come out and do it, and it should be a war. So that would be the fourth match. I'm only going to do 7 matches here, so shit, to be honest, I probably won't fucking do that match. So we got the 3, right? We got AJ versus Batista. Okay, we got Roode and Cena. Forgot about my guy Aleister Black here. He's gonna fight Samoa Joe. And I lied. He is going to fight Kurt Angle. So it's going to be Aleister Black versus Kurt Angle. And Kurt Angle's already lost to Roman Reigns, so if he loses that, it's going to suck for him. So that's 2. Bobby Roode and Cena, that's my 3rd match. Cesaro and Jericho, 4th match there. Christian's going to defend his title against Kevin Owens. This is kind of like a Canadian beef thing. And prior to this, back in like 2K18, I had them as like a team, kind of like the friendship that Owens and Jericho had. I know what you're thinking, you ripped off the storyline that they had, but it's just, it worked, and you know, it's very similar, and that I kind of did rip it off, and that's the whole point of the storyline is, you know, we're Canadian, we're friends, and it worked in my eyes, so we did that. And so yeah, not EC3 and AJ. That's not happening. So yeah, and then yeah, from there, I definitely want to do. Let's see, who else did I have lined up? Miz and Seth Rollins. I want to see them go ahead and have it out. It's been kind of Rollins ridiculing Miz, telling him he's really not what he thinks he is, not what he's made of, and Miz pretty much having to prove himself and just kick the shit out of Rollins, and Miz kind of bringing out the ugly side of himself in this aspect, doing cheap shots and turning, and Rollins bringing it out in him almost in a good way. So, because as you could tell, Miz is a heel in this rivalry here because of the fact that Rollins has been getting a lot of pops from the fans in my universe here. I don't know what it is, but they've been going apeshit for Rollins. So I had Miz go ahead and go heel against Ricochet a month or so back, and he kind of attacked him and like a chip on his shoulder, and the fans just aren't taking too well to it. So got that match going on as well for the pay-per-view. And then again, Rey Mysterio and Rusev. Rusev being Rusev just kind of kicking the shit out of Rey Mysterio, and Rey Mysterio being Rey Mysterio, wanting to prove himself against him. And you know, that should be something good. So yeah, that's gonna be the pay-per-view basically. Roman and Cedric, I'm not sure if I'm gonna have add-on matches, because you know, I got 7 matches, and I'm not sure how I feel about like 8 or 9 match pay-per-views. We don't got all night, right? So with Aleister Black and Kurt, you know, I may even throw Samoa Joe in as triple threat. It's a lot of possibilities here. It's a deep roster, so it just depends. And yeah, so that's the pay-per-view that's looking to come up. And what I'm gonna do from there is I'm gonna go ahead and record the pay-per-view from start to finish, so anyone who's interested can watch and see how it plays out and continue to follow my universe. And like I said, I mean, nothing against WWE booking and what they do and how they do things, because they're WWE, whatever, blah blah blah. But I definitely think that as long as I've been doing this, I care about these wrestlers to the point where I want to make good stories for them, and I want to make good stories for the people who watch. And so anybody who's watched this, I just want to thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to watch my universe. And you know, oh shit, before I let you guys go, this is my news. So this is showing some of the matches that I've put on, if you're interested. And just seeing some of the things I've done, you know, bringing back Cena and Lesnar, and you know, Owens and Hardy, Miz and Benjamin. Oh, I had Batista and Sting at Mania. That was kind of crazy, for sure. So yeah, you know, Rollins and Black. So yeah, I've had some good matches here, some good feuds, and I hope to continue to share them. And if I can, let me try. Hopefully it doesn't cut me off. If it does, then once again, thank you guys for watching. But let me try and cut. You know, I'm not even gonna try, because it seems to always screw me over when I back out of it. So if you guys, again, thank you for watching, and if you guys could please continue to watch and check out my pay-per-view that I have coming up. It should be pretty dope, and it's better than a lot of what like I said, a lot of the things they do now. It's just not what it used to be. The passion, I just don't think it's there. I don't think they care about the wrestlers as much as they used to. It's just all about getting the TV program over, and with someone like me who has time, I definitely put time and effort into it as much as I can. So thank you again, and for my next episode, we'll be going through with the Payback pay-per-view, and it should be a good time. Thank you.